Everybody, and welcome to Tuesday Training. I hope you're having a fantastic week. As always,
we are live from Austin, Texas, right here at Insurance Syndicate headquarters, and man, we have a great show for you.
Wow, we would have a great show if I could operate buttons properly. Then it would really be a great show. Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? Thank you for tuning in. I see you in there. What's up, Lupe? Mr. James, sitting backstage in the green room, commenting already. It's good to see you guys. Thank you all for tuning in for a special birthday episode of Tuesday Training. That's right. Today's my birthday. Don't even ask me how old I am. If you ask me how old I am, I'm banning you from the group. Just want to lay that out there right now. But we have a great show today. We're going to jump in. It's the new year. This is the first Tuesday Training of 2026. Is it not? Yes, that is correct. But we have a great show lined up. We're going to dive in with some of my buddies. Eric Fierro and Tim James are going to jump on the show with me and talk about some of the expansions they are doing with the DFY CRM, which, as you know, is my CRM of choice and is also the sponsor of Tuesday Training. They got some new logos and stuff. They keep harping on me. I got to get them up there, but I am not an artistic type, but we will get the new logos presented. But DFY CRM is my CRM of choice. It is easily one of the best white labels for Go High Level out there. And I've said it many times. I'm going to say it again. If you're an insurance agent, you're still running on spreadsheets and Rolodexes thinking that you don't need a CRM. I don't care if you write 5 apps a year or 105 apps a year. You need a CRM, man. You need to be able to take care of them. And the answer to it is right in the abbreviation. CRM, Customer Relationship Management. And if you know me, you know that I believe this is a relationship business. As a matter of fact, I got a book coming out called The Relationship Business, which will be coming out here pretty soon. So again, it's all in that acronym, Customer Relationship Management. If you want to properly grow and build your relationships with your customers, well, you need a tool to manage them. And that's what a CRM is for, and that's what we're going to dive into some today. But first, I got a wee bit of news for you. As always, I love to point out some fraud, especially when it's so particular like this one. This is a single dude. This is one guy. I mean, granted, he's probably got some accomplices, but this is one guy from Burbank that is bilking Medicare for $54 million. Wow. I mean, my favorite one so far is the couple out in Scottsdale, Arizona that got Medicare for $1.2 billion. But this dude out in Burbank has got him for $54 million. He's a San Fernando Valley man. He is expected to plead guilty today to a federal charge for his alleged role in a scheme to defraud Medicare out of more than $54 million via hospice and diagnostic testing services that were never provided. Alexanian, age 48 of Burbank, has agreed to enter a plea to 1 count of money laundering conspiracy. He does have a co-defendant down here, Sophia Shaklian, age 38 of the Larchmont neighborhood of Los Angeles. She pled guilty back in November to a single count of healthcare fraud and is set for sentencing coming up in March. A 24-count grand jury indictment filed in Los Angeles federal court 2 years ago charged both defendants with participating in the scheme. They were using aliases, managed and submitted claims for 7 healthcare providers enrolled with Medicare and located in the LA County area. The businesses included a hospice company that she owned and several diagnostic testing companies. Wow. From March 2019 to August 24, the company submitted more than $54 million in fraudulent claims to Medicare for services that were never provided and not even needed. And they received more than $23 million for those claims. They laundered Medicare funds by transferring them to accounts in the name of a fake identity. It even goes on to say that Alexanian allegedly directed a foreign national to open a radiology clinic and acquire Medicare provider Console Hospice in Van Nuys, then provide control of those companies and their bank accounts and their foreign nationals' personal bank. Whew. Wow, here we go. Let's look at what they're buying. They conspired with the foreign national who has since left the country, and others to have the clinic and Console Hospice submit fraudulent claims to Medicare for services never provided. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office, they laundered the Medicare reimbursements they received, as well as funds deposited in their account through the phony identity, and used them to buy, among other things, more than $6 million in gold bars and coins. Wow. Wonder what those gold bars and coins are worth today. I mean, if you're not in the precious metals market right now, you're probably missing out. Silver has gone off the chain. But all right, man, there's some fraud to kick off the day. They're out there. You know, if you're an agent in the Medicare space, man, it's you got to take care of your clients too and warn them like, hey, don't be giving your Medicare number out willy-nilly to people. Like, save my phone number and understand that if anybody ever calls you that's not my phone number, your Medicare agent, and is trying to talk to you about Medicare, it certainly could be another agent, probably not as good as me, but it could easily be some fraudster out there that's trying to bilk your Medicare number so that they can then bill Medicare for fraudulent services. I mean, I picked someone off. I shouldn't say picked them off. A lady contacted me right here in Cedar Park, Texas, because she recognized that she was getting fraudulently billed for urinary catheters at something like, I think it was $3,800 a month, if I remember correctly, every single month, like clockwork. And it took her about 4 months to finally realize, like, hey, something weird's going on with my Medicare billing. She's not getting billed for the money. They're just using her number to bill Medicare. And anytime your number is used to bill Medicare, you get an explanation of benefit statement that shows what was billed under your number. So teach your clients how to pay attention to those statements, how to read them, how to recognize fraud, how to protect themselves against fraud, and jump in and report it if necessary. When I contacted, matter of fact, there's a news story about this company. They're still in business. Sunshine Senior Solutions out of Delray Beach, doing the whole urinary catheter scheme. When I contacted Medicare with this lady and reported it, we were told that, yeah, we're very aware of Sunshine Senior Solutions. They're under investigation. That was 6 months ago. They're still in business. They're still down there. I was just down in West Palm Beach. I really thought about paying them a visit. Hey, do you guys have any urinary catheters around here I could pick up? Maybe a couple. But I didn't. I was too busy, had other stuff to do. But without further ado, let's jump into the crux of the show. I want to bring my pals on here, Mr. Eric Fierro, Mr. Tim James. How you guys doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having us, my friend.
It is always good to see both of you. Mr. James, how are you?
I'm good, man. Happy birthday.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Muchos gracias. How was your New Year's?
Mine was good, man. I'm glad it's over. I'm glad all the holidays are over.
Oh, I know. I actually was able to stay up past midnight. That was that haven't done. I haven't done that in quite a while.
That was a feat in and of itself, huh?
Yeah.
Understood.
How was yours, Tony? I mean, first of all, what are your plans going to be for today since it's your birthday? Are you planning on going to a nice restaurant? Or are you smoking some amazing meat? Like, what's the plan?
I am definitely not cooking on my birthday. I'll tell you that much right now. I am cooking this weekend for a small group that's coming over to my house for my birthday, my sister and a couple of friends, but that's about it. Tonight, I am using a birthday gift card that I got to go and treat myself to dinner somewhere. Haven't made up my mind where yet, but I got $100 to blow. We're going to go have a nice dinner somewhere.
That's awesome.
Well, $100. Where's that going to take you for dinner? Maybe
Applebee's,
a nice dinner at Taco Bell or Applebee's these days. I'm going to have to kick in some more. Let's be honest. But all right, man. But yeah, birthday's good. It's different perspective on life, I guess, after you've taken 50 laps around the sun, 51 now. So I'm half a century old.
Young.
I remember being
young.
a kid and thinking about getting to this day. It's like, wow, I'm going to be, you imagine what you're going to be like when you're 50 and you're dying like your parents are. And then you get there and you're like, hey, I'm not dying.
As I say, you got a lot of runway left, man.
I got plenty left. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Well, listen, man, you guys are the sponsor of the show. We appreciate you. I obviously use y'all's CRM all the time. I love it. I have a lot of my own custom work in there. I've even hired an engineer to help me with some of my own custom work that I want to do in there. But I know you guys have some new things that you're working on. I saw a glimpse of something yesterday. Hopefully I'm not saying anything out of maybe you posted it publicly, so I'm going to say it. That looked like some kind of agent contractual update thing where they can now see what contracts they have active and it's being reported through the CRM. Is that correct?
Well, for me, like the idea that I had was, and it's a pain point that I had myself as a writing agent is that when you get like over 20 carriers that you're contracted with, but most of the time you're writing maybe 5 of them, there's going to be a time where you're going to need to write this plan that you haven't written yet, or you haven't written in a long time. And you're like, shoot, what's my login credentials? What's my writing number? How do I figure that out? How do I get that information? I'm going to have to call my upline and bug them about it. And I'm just like, dude, why don't I just put something together, create a software that we could just track all of that in one place in an easy manner, but also just to extend on that, make it so that you can track your downlines as well, because a lot of us are starting to get into a place where we're recruiting agents and we have a downline. So that way, if they need to call us because they're in the same situation, they can call us and be like, hey, what's my writing number? And we can easily search it up and be able to provide them the credentials they need so that they can be on their merry way and keep writing business, right? It's all about making life easier. So that's one of the softwares that we're working on amongst many to really pair with DFY CRM and make life easier for agents.
I'm super happy to hear that because that is something that's been on my brain for a while.
Oh, yeah?
I've talked to you guys about some of the things that we're doing with our CRM and how we're trying to grow our version of DFY, right? Some of the things that we're building. And obviously you guys are going to be helping me with some of that coming up this month. And one of the things I was thinking is like, I need a resource spot for each carrier. So that my agents, anytime they're like, oh, what's the web link? Oh, what is the underwriting guide? Like, where is a place that I can easily station all that for them? I thought about using a cloud server, which, I mean, I have a cloud server. I thought about using that as a shared option. I've tried to build it inside of Agency Block, but it's super limited on what you can actually build in there. I can basically put some web links and a couple of phone numbers, and that's for the most part about it. I mean, I can attach some items, but I can't have like a living, breathing thing that runs live and feeds, if that makes sense, off of the data as it evolves and changes.
Yeah, and that's honestly, that's just one of the things that sets us apart as DFY. Tim and I, we're actually builders in the system. So not only are we owners of the CRM, but we are passionate about what we do. So although I know that for a lot of people, the goal is to eventually get yourself out of the place where you're a builder or that you can hand that off to someone else. Tim and I are really passionate about it. We love doing this stuff and we are incredibly creative. So we decide we want to continue to build and have fun and create things that we believe agents need to make their agencies run smoother. So I think that's one big thing that sets us apart. And to kind of piggyback on that, I would say another big thing that sets us apart from our competitors is that, I've been in the insurance industry over 20 years now. I've been in the Medicare industry since 2006. And so there's a lot of experience that goes behind why we do what we do and how we design the systems and how we come up with additional tools that we can pair with it. It's because there's a lot of insurance experience actually selling policies and also managing agents who've sold policies and managing downlines that sell policies and running a call center that sold policies. So there's a lot of insurance experience that goes behind what we do, which is why we continue to create things that are necessary and needed. And that's why I made that post yesterday, because the other thing I want is we want to get feedback from the members so that we can bring out something that is checking off as many of the boxes as possible. And just like your case in point, I go in and develop something as a need based off myself being an agent. And you're like, hey, I've been wanting that too. And that's what the people in the group are saying too. They're like, man, I've been wanting something like this. I can't wait for this to come out. So that's one of the things that we pride ourselves in doing. That's why Tim and I stay so heavily involved in the development of new products that we pair. And that's the big thing too, is that we've put so much time into what we do with DFY that everything that we want to build additionally is going to be something that can pair well with the CRM. That's the whole idea. We want to make it so that it integrates. We want to make it so data can sync. We want to make it so that life is just easier overall, so that agents can continue to focus on what they do best, selling insurance. So, yeah, we're really pumped about that. And we got another actual product that we're going to demonstrate for you guys today.
Sweet.
And so that's one of the things that we're excited about showing here. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of competitors in the CRM space right now, especially when it comes to white label GHLs. I believe that we're one of the best in the market. We've been doing it probably the longest of anybody. And anybody who wants to go see like the ins and outs of how it works, we have demos that we do on Wednesdays and Fridays. So all you got to do is go to dfycrm.com, click the live or click to register for the live demo. And that way you guys can do that. Today, we want to actually showcase on this show. We want to showcase some of the software that we put together. And the last point I want to make before we do that is I just want to talk a little bit also about one of the big things when you have a system as robust as what we have, and especially with the components that we keep adding. I think that being able to provide excellent customer service is probably one of the biggest things out there that you can do. And I think that for the price point, right, which we don't have the price point, it's $97 a month, right? For the price point that you get, we offer 24/7 live chat support. We offer 2 hours a day of actual office hours where you can jump in with our level 2 techs. So obviously our live chat's going to be level 1 techs, and then our level 2 techs are going to be daily on office hours, 2 hours a day. We have a private Facebook group. You can reach us by SMS, by email. We provide multiple channels to get help. We have a huge video resource library that can help you with walking through a lot of the stuff. And I think that, again, for the price point, that's a heck of a lot of support that you get, and it's great support. I know that, here's kind of what I've experienced with a couple of agents so far. And one thing that I always like to at least tell them, like, hey, this is a better approach. I don't know if you've done this, Tony, yourself, but my wife is kind of the same way. My wife loves technology. She expects it to work exactly how it's supposed to work 100% of the time. And when something goes a little bit wrong or changes, she'll spend an hour trying to figure it out on her own, to the point that she's incredibly frustrated. And then at that point, she'll come to me and be like, fix it. Fix it. Like, she's already, again, super frustrated. So what I always recommend to agents, especially, agents who either haven't gotten started yet and are about to get started, or people who maybe have been so busy with AEP, they just haven't utilized the system to its potential in a while. Spend 5 minutes looking for what you're looking for. Spend 5 minutes trying to figure out what you want to figure out. If you can't in 5 minutes, immediately go to the live chat so that we can help you.
Yeah.
If you do that, that's going to produce the best scenario and the best outcome for you. But 99% of agents don't do that. 99% of agents do the first part. They try to figure it out on their own, so they're super frustrated. Then they get upset. Then they vent their frustration, when if you just went in the first 5 minutes to live chat, we'd be able to help you out. And I think, Tony, you've experienced that yourself.
I have. So has Jesse Bannister, who is in the comments saying that DFY support is unmatched. Was very helpful during his initial setup. Thank you for that comment, Jesse. Yeah, recently I was having, because we outgrew, if I could say that, we outgrew the email server that we get with DFY. Great for an independent agent, but we send a shit ton of email out of this office, and we were starting to hit the limits. And I didn't realize what was going on. I talked to you guys about it, like, oh, you just need to set up a dedicated domain, right? Piece of cake, update your DNS records, done. And then now you can run free with email. I'm like, all right, cool. We got it set up, was working great. And then we had some minor error in the DNS records that needed to be updated. And that's not really my thing. And I didn't really understand what was going on. I'm like, well, wait, we already did all the DNS. Like, what's up? And I spent about 5 minutes. Actually, Jesus, my email marketer, he spent about 5 minutes like, hey, what's going on here? I spent about 5 minutes with him. Try this, try that. He's like, nope, still getting the problem. And then I just hit your chat group. And within 15 minutes, maybe 20 tops, they had me fixed up and done. Piece of cake, right? It took about 5 minutes to grab the call or grab the chat. I can't remember the gentleman's name now that was working with me. He was super sharp, knew exactly what I needed to do, sent me some screenshots. Hey, take that, plug it in here, hit save, you're done. Okay, did it. refreshed it, piece of cake, done. Now we're zapping out emails again. So super helpful, and I appreciate that. And I wanted to. There was something else that you mentioned earlier in regards to the fact that you guys are builders that also have insurance experience.
Yeah.
And I opened the show and I mentioned that I had hired my own engineer to help me with some extra custom items. That was a problem that I wasn't really foreseeing being an issue because he's extremely savvy and go high level. He doesn't know shit about Medicare, and he doesn't know shit about the insurance industry. I mean, he doesn't know anything about it. So as much as I like the dude, and he's a very nice guy, and Ashir, if you're watching this, it's nothing. It's not hitting on you, bro. But it's hard because he can't be autonomous in the work that I need him to do. I have to hold his hand constantly because he doesn't understand the flow of someone transitioning to Medicare, buying a Medicare Advantage plan, needing to be pitched hospital indemnity, needing to be closed out with final expense, and how to build that over art. Like he goes, oh yeah, products, got it. And he can, but I have to show him every single sequence in the message and how to do it. And I'm like, well, this isn't saving me any time. Right. So I appreciate the fact that you guys, just like you said, like not only are we builders in the CRM and we know how to build the tech itself, but we're also insurance guys. So we understand exactly what you're thinking about, the solutions that an insurance agent needs. You're able to come at the problem with that angle.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's huge.
We have a highly skilled team as well. Our level 2 techs, I would say, are almost on par. Almost, right? Because again, I feel like Tim and I are two of the best. We're two of the best. So, but these guys are, I mean, our level 2 guys are amazing. And so a lot of times, you know, we work in conjunction with them so that we can explain, here's what we need to do. They build it out. We double check it 9 times out of 10, very minor tweaks are needed. And then we can, you know, deliver that to the customer. So yeah, our team is super strong. We're really proud of them. We're really blessed to have them on our team. Our whole team is amazing. And yeah, we're, like I said, we're going to keep on moving forward with continuing to develop more things. And you know, Tim likes to showcase that quite often as well on his page, where he'll be like, hey, look what we're building now. And people get really excited because it's awesome. It's stuff that's needed in the marketplace. And what we're going to talk about today is something that has been around for a while, and that's webinars, right? So webinars is not a new thing. I actually got big into webinars back in 2015. I learned from the master Russell Brunson of ClickFunnels. And so I learned how to do webinars back in the day, did really well with them, started generating leads for a couple of big FMOs using webinars. And it went really well. And then the popularity got to build later on with when Josh Lustig brought out his webinar system in conjunction with us. He partnered with us. We worked to put together the system that we could offer to agents. Then we did the same thing with Chase Gruning. You know, we put together stuff. So the level of expertise that we have with webinars is high, super high, right? Lots of experience. And one of the things that was lacking that we wanted to bring out a better version of is webinar software. You know, the Go High Level platform provides a version of webinar stuff that just isn't quite what we are looking for, or what we think is going to be as effective. And so we went to build a better system, and that's what we've done. You know, so we've built something amazing. And in today's market, webinars are incredibly important. Obviously, we're like at that peak of where the T65 market is like growing. We're gonna obviously start declining, but there's still a whole crap ton of people to help. Even as the yearly numbers of people turning 65 goes down, still a lot of people to help. And one of the best ways to educate them is via webinar.
Yeah,
it's a
we
way
just
that
pulled this up, not to interrupt you too much, but I want to add on to what you just said. We just pulled this up yesterday for our brokerage meeting that we were having. 6 million people turned 65 this year. 6 million.
Yeah.
So yes, while there's a lot of things changing in the Medicare space, the one thing that is constant is there are more Medicare beneficiaries every single day.
Yeah, the opportunity is still there. And I think that, you know, with webinars, it's a low barrier to entry. People feel more comfortable being able to attend something where they don't feel like they're going to necessarily get pressured right off the bat. It gives agents an opportunity to showcase their personality, to showcase that they can provide value without asking for anything in return. And then ultimately, after providing that value, you can say, in order for us to design something specifically for you, go ahead and book an appointment. And then from there, those who are interested will go ahead and book appointments. So we wanted to put together something that I think pairs really well with how insurance agents do webinars. And so for that, I'm going to hand it over to my partner, Tim, so that he can start sharing the screen and kind of showcasing what we got that we're releasing.
Fantastic. Let me find the present button. I think it's right here. Let's see. Share screen. Okay, guys. So this is Webby Chat version 2.
Can't see it.
There,
wait, here, almost. Now we can.
There we go. All right. Can you guys see it? Good.
Yep.
Good.
All right. Awesome. Okay. So right now, this software, I'm going to go over how it works and why it's so awesome. But this is right now it's in beta. So we are taking on early adopters for like lifetime access. So if you're interested in that after watching this, just email me at tim@swayzecrm.com and we can see if we can get you set up with the system. So what's so cool about this software? Well, you record your webinar, right? Let's say you're doing a new to Medicare webinar. You record it. You get your slide deck. You make it as perfect as possible. And then you upload it into this software. And what will happen is our software will read the transcription. It'll generate the transcription from the webinar that you recorded, and it will generate chat messages based off of that transcription. So, for example, this is a webinar I recorded for a company me and Eric own called A-Setters, okay? And so the name of this webinar is How Insurance Agents 2 to 3x Weekly Sales Using Appointment Centers, okay? So down here, I'm able to configure this webinar to provide social proof and chat functioning so that when people are watching the webinar, they can actually engage and we can chat back and forth. And we can also encourage them to take action, like clicking a button below to schedule a Medicare consultation call or a life insurance consultation call, whatever it is, right? So what we can do is we can actually spoof, we can change the number of viewers. And so what will happen is when people join this webinar, it'll trickle all the way up to the peak view count, and then it'll kind of waver and it'll stay pretty steady. And then at the end of the webinar, it'll drop off. We have the option of controlling our host chat name. So basically, we have a live chat function. This can connect with any Go High Level CRM, right? So you connect this to your CRM and someone joins the webinar and you or your VA can chat directly with the live attendee directly from your CRM system, which is really, really awesome. So you basically just connect this to your CRM and then you kind of configure it how you want. One of the things we have is we have this cool thing called social proof. So what this will do is while the webinar is going, we can have little overlay pop-ups that show up that say, you know, Tony Merwin just booked an A-Setters consultation. So we can actually provide social proof. It could be purchased, you know, a program or booked a call, whatever you want it to be, and you can control the frequency from here. So here are the chat messages that were generated based off of you know, the webinar that I had pre-recorded, right? Wow, 400% increase in conversion. If contacted within 5 minutes, that's insane. And so what I wanted to also add one layer of extra control. If you don't like the way a message is coming out at a certain timestamp, you can change the message entirely or tweak it, which is cool. So what version 2 is allowing people to do is I wanted to make it quicker, right? So our version 1, you could manually add messages at certain timestamps, but I was like, you know, agents don't really have time to sit there and like, what if we just had AI generate all the chat messages, right? And so that's what this does, right? And so in addition to you're able to look at your webinar in mobile view. Let me kind of go in here and show you. And so it's mobile optimized. Generate all the chat messages. So what's really cool is if they're on mobile, which most of your viewers will be, this is how they'll see it. And so you can kind of look at it over here. Here's how it looks in desktop view, right? And so Basically, all you need to do is connect this to your CRM, generate the webinar, and copy this code and put it into one of your websites or funnels. And that's it. You just start pointing traffic to it. It'll work on any website or funnel that you have, even outside of Go High Level. Like, let's say you have WordPress or something else. You can take this code, paste it into your website builder, and now you can control the domain that your webinar is hosted on. So that's the basics of what the software does. We also have live chat here. So if you wanted your VA or something to chat from within the actual application, you can do it from here. We have a really robust analytics feature. So you're able to see how many people are getting to your webinar, how many people opt in, what your opt-in rate is, what the average watch time is, chat messages, engagement rate, and then appointments booked during the webinar. So this will sync directly with a calendar of your choice from within your Go High Level CRM. So you have full control, and every contact will also exist here. And then we also have this quick link feature where, let's say you're like, hey, I need to get a hold of Timothy. You can click this, and it'll open up Timothy's contact record directly from within your CRM. So yeah, it's basically just an automated webinar software. You can put it out, but webinars do a fantastic job of taking people that are experiencing a pain point or are confused about something, and you're able to bring them in and take them from the stage of awareness to consideration. And so by the time you get on a call with one of these people, they already know who you are, what your pitch is, everything that you need to know. So it's going to help you close deals quicker and more efficiently. That's about it.
I didn't know that. I knew y'all had this, and I knew you could use it inside of DFY. I didn't know you had the ability that whatever funnel area that you can just copy the code, put it in your website, WordPress, whatever it might be, ClickFunnels, I assume you could build it into there.
Yeah,
well,
obviously,
right?
like this is, as a product, we brought it out so that DFY members get access to this as a part of your membership.
Right.
But we wanted to design it in a way that if people outside of DFY wanted access to it, we could sell it to them and they could utilize it. So that's always what we had in mind, is making it so that regardless of what GHL version or whatever you had, we wanted you to be able to access this software.
Very slick.
Yeah.
Very slick. What else do we have?
Man, so
I know y'all got a couple of things cooking.
So. I mean, I got a lot of stuff working. So 2026 is going to be the year of software development, just because of AI and everything that's going on. I've got a software in the works where you're able to create postcard templates, and then dynamically, like, let's say you have an agency inside of your Go High Level account. If an agent clicks a button, it'll dynamically create a template and put their headshot in and shoot out a postcard, like all from within the system. We've got a lot of really cool stuff in the works. And that's one of the things I really want to drive home that we're doing is our goal is just to make it so that agents have everything that they need to succeed, very quickly and rapidly. And so we are spending a lot of time and money trying to bring out these softwares to make the insurance sales and retention process easier.
Yeah. I think another big thing that another big project this year is going to be in regards to bundle selling. I think that I've been friends with Galen Hendricks for a very long time, former competitors, but became very good, close friends. And obviously she had come down and trained my call center in bundle selling years ago, right? Almost 10 years ago now. And I think that we're finally in a place in the market where agents are starting to see that it is it's no longer going to be a choice. It's more of a necessity to start cross-selling products with your Medicare or ACA if you're going to have longevity. I think it's finally come to that point. And for such a long time, it was too easy for agents to make a good living selling one product. And now with so many changes that are happening and so much difficulty going on and so many commissions that are stopping their payments, like it's now becoming, it's dawning on agents that they need to find a better way if they're going to continue to run in this market. I know, Tony, you've been doing trainings on cross-selling as well. And I think it's just something where finally agents are very receptive to it. So along with obvious training that's going to happen in regards to bundle selling, with Galen, there's going to be other awesome things like software that's going to make it easier to be able to calculate bundles and be able to get that stuff going on the fly so you can price them out quicker, get the information to the consumer quicker. Also, that the agent has an easier time doing this. But the hardest part, right? The hardest part is still going to be you as the agent needing to inform the client of the necessity for these additional products. And I don't know why
100%.
that seems to be so hard for agents to do. I don't know why. Why do you think that's so hard, Tony? Why do you think that's so hard for them?
Man, honestly, I don't have the right answer because this is a problem that I've been battling with for well over a decade. When Medicare Advantage really started to fly in 2014, like we recognized that hospital indemnity was like the next product wave that's going to come with that right behind it, because the two go together like steak fingers and gravy, man. Like if you're going to get a Medicare Advantage plan, you need a hospital indemnity plan, unless of course you're DSNP. And we would harp on agents and we'd show them the products and we'd teach them how the hospital indemnity plan works. And we still couldn't get them to sell it. I mean, they're independent agents, so you don't have control over them, right? As a national wholesaler or FMO, you're just like, hey, man, these are the resources, right? Here's the scripts, here's the ideas, here's how you pitch it, here's how it works. But then they're the ones that have to take action, and getting them to take action was extremely difficult. As a matter of fact, last year, I had a call with Hunter Gordy, one of the top executives over at United National Life. That's the hospital indemnity plan we generally pitch. It's one of my favorites. And I can't remember, I wish I could remember the exact figure, but he told me the figure of the number of Medicare Advantage policy holders that actually have a hospital indemnity plan. And if my brain is remembering it correctly, it was something like 4%. Ooh. It was absolutely extremely low.
Yeah.
So which tells you two things. It tells you, number one, agents aren't taking advantage of hospital indemnity products, which means they're not better protecting their clientele. They're not better increasing their income. I mean, wouldn't you like to double your income per sale versus at least first year money, which is what a hospital indemnity plan can do if you do it right? And they're leaving those people unprotected. And then finally, it tells you there's a ton of opportunity, because even if you're an agent out there and you're trying to sell Medicare Advantage plans and you run into people that like their Medicare Advantage plan, they don't want to change. Well, there's a 96% chance nobody's ever even talked to them about hospital indemnity.
Yeah.
So like, hey, that's fine. Keep your United Healthcare plan that you adore. But when your agent went through that, you probably remember he showed you all those hospital co-payments and the skilled nursing co-payment. Well, I have a product I can show you how to bring all that down to zero, and then pitch them that product and tighten up the plan there to have, and at least get out of that door with some money.
Yeah. And I think another one that's a very easy product to bring up is cancer coverage, because all of us, I haven't met one person who hasn't had an experience with cancer, whether it be a very close relative, a very close friend, or they themselves. So having stories to talk about and how to bring it up and to be able to present that is why it's necessary, because of how current insurance coverage, especially Medicare Advantage, works when it comes to cancer diagnosis. It just should be one of the easiest conversations to have. I would venture to say it's even easier than hospital indemnity. It's an even easier conversation.
Just like you said, like everybody knows somebody that has dealt with cancer. Everybody does. And a lot, especially multiple. And the older you get, just the more common it gets. Like at this, and I'm 50 years old now, 51. The number of people in my Facebook friends list that are in their 40s and 50s also. I'm not even talking about old people. I'm talking about people that are still middle age right there, that I'm seeing, like all my old high school friends that are getting diagnosed or unfortunately dying of cancer at 45 years old. Like it's nuts.
It's nuts.
And then once you turn 65 years old, it's a coin flip.
Yeah.
And I used to say that when I would pitch people face to face when I was out in the field and I was selling, because that's how I got into business, was selling cancer treatment products. And back then, long time ago, back in the 2000s, the number was about 1 out of 3. There's about 1 out of 3 people get cancer. So I would be sitting at the table with a couple, and that was one of my statements. I'm like, I'd show them the graph. I'm like, right there, 1 out of 3 of us is getting cancer. And so I'd look around the table and like, well, there's only 3 of us. And I kind of let that point. So I was like, I don't know which one of us it is, but one of us ain't getting out of this room without cancer. Like, let's just be honest. So maybe it's me, maybe it's one of y'all, maybe it's all of us, who knows, but let's go ahead and get you protected. And now that number has gotten worse. The penetration of cancer is winning the game. It used to be 1 in 3. Now it's 1 in 2. Right. Especially once you get to age 65. So if you're not protecting yourself, I mean, I have a cancer policy. My wife has a cancer policy, which makes it even easier to sell because we use that as part of our storytelling. But just like Eric said, like everybody knows somebody that's dealt with cancer. So, I mean, if you're going through any Medicare Advantage plan, all you got to do is point to the 20% coinsurance for Part B drugs, which is cancer. That's leukemia, radiology, all of that stuff, injections, etc., and just be like, yo, I can help you cover this pretty simple with like a $25K in cancer benefit, or a hospital indemnity plan that includes cancer.
Yes.
Which is even better. Like a lot of the good hospital indemnity plans have bumped up their rider, where it used to be you could only get like $5K as a cancer rider. Now, some of them have $25,000 that you could stuff into that hospital indemnity for a first diagnosis and get cancer. So you can actually take care of both sides right there with a single product.
I think a lot of agents maybe feel, because they're used to insurance that can continually pay, when somebody has a diagnosis of something, a heart attack or whatever, that has like kind of like no caps. And when they see cancer coverages, most of them are being sold as a lump sum. They think, oh, $50,000 of cancer coverage isn't enough. But the reality is, it actually is. It is enough. I actually so last year, I met somebody at a conference. Very awesome lady. Her and her husband, they're SaaSpreneurs like Tim and I. And I remember just having a great conversation about business, strategy, all the good stuff. She was diagnosed with cancer recently, and it's her second time actually battling it. And the hard part was that, she didn't, for the treatments that she needed to get done, she didn't have enough on hand to be able to take care of it. So she did a GoFundMe, and the amount she needed was $45,000. So getting a $50,000 policy is enough a lot of times to be able to go and get the treatment coverage you need on top of your insurance. But I just think for some reason in agents' heads, it's just like, it's not enough. It's not enough. So why even bother when it is? It is enough.
It's definitely enough. 100%.
I think
And
maybe
just ultimately just do some research. Like if you're an agent, it's not hard to do a little bit of research and find what are the most common cancers and what are the average cost of treating that cancer and what does it look like. That way you can speak about it intelligently, and then you can learn like, oh, well, if I have this type of plan and that's the type of cancer that I'm most likely to get, right, this is how much coverage I need to plug into my current healthcare package. And I love that we're on this topic, because cross marketing is what I was going to talk about anyway until you asked to join me today, and I'm glad you did. And we've had this conversation recently, going back to like, why can't, like, if we know that hospital indemnity is absolutely a phenomenal product to pitch when you're writing Medicare Advantage, right, or cancer coverage, whatever it is, that like you need to tighten up some of those out of pockets. But again, one of the questions you raised was like, why can't we get agents to sell it, right? Why are only 4% of Medicare Advantage policyholders covered by a hospital indemnity plan when it's really easy to sell? Like Grace picked it up recently and finally started really getting after it. And I think about 6 out of every 10 of her Medicare Advantage policyholders take out a hospital indemnity product with her. And some of them very robust, that are loaded up with all the bells and whistles. And some are getting them a little more trim and clean. I just need the hospital benefits and the skilled nursing, and that's it. And then others are stacking it up. And I talked to you about this the other day, because I was banging my head against this wall again. Now as an agency owner, I'm no longer in the wholesale space, banging my head against how do I get independent agents to do it, but how do I get my LOA team to do it? Because I can't. I can tell them about it. I can train them about it all day, but they still won't have the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, so that's when, if you remember, I had this call with you a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, this is what I want your help building out inside of DFY is a forced sales cycle that includes cross-selling.
Yeah.
100%. So after they get that lead and they close the deal and the opportunity for the Medicare Advantage, or if it's a Medicare supplement, then we have a different cross-sell cycle that goes that way. But you got to put it in front of their face. And I think even for independent agents, if they have that in their CRM and they follow that sales cycle with the client, I got their Medicare Advantage plan, and then all of a sudden there's a task that keeps pinging them like, hey, you need to call Margaret back and ask her about this hospital indemnity plan. And by the way, here's the script.
Yeah.
And just make the phone call, bro. And as long as they get it, if you get them to do that activity and you gamify it at some level, right? They're going to do it. And then they're going to realize they'll start making more money. And then it'll become easier. And then they'll be looking forward to that hospital indemnity plan. And then before they're selling it in the first call, not a second call, et cetera.
I think that even to speak to your point about Grace and how, now she is every 6 out of 10, she's able to pair an ancillary product. Most agents, I think maybe the fear is that they have like a all or nothing mentality, that if they were to bring up an additional product, an ancillary product, they're going to lose the Medicare sale or they're going to lose the ACA sale. I think it could be a fear there that they subconsciously have, that if they bring up more than what's necessary, especially if they have to ask for premium when, let's just say they're offering a 0 premium Medicare Advantage product and now they're having to ask for premium with an ancillary, they feel they'll lose the sale somehow. But that's why I like statistics like what you're saying, is that you can bring up multiple products and the client can just say, no, I'll just take the Medicare one. And you don't lose the sale. You still get the sale, but
still get the sale.
You're still missing out on all the other people who are going to potentially say, as in your statistics, 6 out of 10 people who are going to say, you know what? Yeah, I think that's important to have that too.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I think that could be. I think it's both. It's what you're saying, where it needs to be something that's just forcefully put in front of the agent to be part of their sales script, or even part of their webinar if they're doing it. But it also needs to be that shift in your mindset, where it's not an all or nothing. They could just say, all right, I'll just take the Medicare product, or that's all I can afford right now, and it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's totally okay, 100%. And I agree with you. I think that is a fear of a lot of agents, that they're worried. And I know this for a fact from myself, because I remember when I was new in the field, especially when I moved to Medicare. And back then, we only had Medicare supplements. We didn't even have Medicare Advantage plans. We didn't even have dental plans to cross market. We had 2 products we could sell: Medicare supplement, final expense, or Medicare supplement annuities, or long-term care if you were in that space. But I was in the Medicare supplement final expense game. And I almost never, unless they asked me, never brought up final expense on the same appointment that I was selling Medicare supplement. And I know part of it was the fear, like, I don't want to lose my MedSup sale. Let me solidify this. And another reason, partially because I was going after underwritten business only back then, right? I wasn't going after brand new T65s because I was new to the business. I didn't want to have to deal with the long-term education. Got to teach them how Medicare works. Got to help them get enrolled. I didn't want to do that. I was looking for, hey, you already have a Medicare supplement. You're paying too much. Let me come in and flip it, right? I didn't have to teach them Medicare. I just had to prove to them that they could know, like, trust me, and I get a better rate. So I'm writing an underwritten app. I want to make sure it gets approved. And then when it does get approved, and this is, again, back in the old school days where everything was on paper, I was hand delivering the policy, right? The Medicare supplement policy. And then I would come back with my final expense brochure, and I already had my rate. And I would come back and I'm like, hey, Fred, your Medicare supplement was approved. Here's your policy. Here's all your documents. By the way, and I kind of did what they used to call the Columbo close. I'd be like, oh, by the way, like, almost forgot about it, but do you already have your burial insurance taken care of? And I was super matter of fact about it. And about 1 in 4, 1 in 5 would be like, no, I didn't know you did that also. Like, you only get 3 answers. You either get, yes, I already got life insurance, totally covered, right? And then you can choose if you want to battle it. Or you get, no, I don't. That's something I've been needing to do, because they know it's a bucket list item. I mean, they're a walking time bomb. And then the third one's like, oh, I didn't know you did that. Can you help me with that? And then the best response is like, yes, I do a lot of it. Most people just think I'm a Medicare guy, but I have some of the best final expense rates in town. As a matter of fact, I already have a rate ready for you. $49.82 will get you 10K. 10K was all they needed back then. Now you need closer to 15. Then you have that needs conversation a little deeper to see if you can grow the benefit, and then you write the app. And that was how I
Yeah.
cross-sold back then. And this is what we talked about. It's like, I want my sales arc to be where it brings it up in secondary conversations all the time.
Yeah.
Almost every secondary conversation post-sale of the core product has a cross-market conversation built into it. And while I agree, now that I've gotten more sophisticated, when I do sell now, while I'm not always selling, when I do sell now, I am bundling products right at once. And I've learned to build a conversation and a script where I do all my needs analysis. I show them what they've got or what just Medicare will give them.
Yep.
And then I show them my custom healthcare package. Here's what I can bring to the table. And I describe the whole package with everything included that I want included. And I show them their drive out rate for the month, including their Part B premium. Is that the kind of healthcare you would like? Yes. Is that fit in your budget? Yes. Cool. Give me a few minutes to write up some apps. And they never balk. They're never like, wait a second. Like as I'm going through the app, like, hey, can we go ahead and cut that one out now? I don't need that. And even if they did, so what? I'm still getting the sale, but they never do. They're always like, oh, okay, that's the hospital indemnity coverage. Oh, perfect. Great. Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, Tony. So, because you mentioned, because you're bundling on your first call, do you normally just have a single bundle, or do you have a couple different options they could choose from?
I give them one bundle that I like for them.
Yeah.
Based on
your needs,
based on the needs analysis and the conversation, whether it's Medicare Advantage world or whether it's Medicare Supplement world.
Yeah.
Medicare Advantage world is usually the simplest one is the Medicare Advantage plan and a loaded up hospital indemnity at minimum. And then I may add a home healthcare product.
Yeah.
Because I'm usually going to try to get the cancer coverage in the hospital indemnity package built in, right, with the cancer rider. And then I'll add in home health care as well. Yeah. So that way they have the extra skilled nursing time or flip it into their house. Gives them 360 total days. So that's my usual package there. But most of my clients that I write are MedSup referrals. So I'm usually writing the Medicare supplement, dental, vision. Can't write drug plans anymore. Whatever. Don't even get me started on that bullshit. Anyway, it'll include those items. And then also home health care or cancer, one of the two. But usually home health care is what I like.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's, and again, something that's greatly overlooked by a lot of insurance agents is the home health care and the skilled nursing as well. That's another thing that's overlooked.
It's the blue collar person's long-term care product, and all you got to do is look at some math on that. The average Medicare beneficiary spends 34 days. I'd have to go back and look at my stat, but I'm 99% sure it's 34 days in skilled nursing. Which means which means the average beneficiary goes past their 20 free days.
Yep.
And they're into the copayment territory for at least 14 of them on average. We have other people, unique exceptions like my mom, who spent almost the entire 100 days of skilled nursing time due to a botched knee surgery that she had. So it happens. People use it. Like a lot of people think, oh, that short-term care or that skilled nursing, like I'm only going to need that if I turn into a vegetable. No, that's not true. Just have a really nasty surgery for your knee, your hip, your leg, your back, and you're going to spend some time in skilled nursing, period. Now, would you rather do it in the stale, gray, nasty environment of skilled nursing that smells like vomit? Or would you rather be in your nice, comfortable home where the skilled nurses come to you and dote on you around your family, and you can still watch your favorite football game and eat some Cheetos on the side, whatever you're trying to do? You would rather do it that way. Yeah. And would you rather have more time just in case it gets worse? So that home healthcare product gives you 360 days consecutive of skilled nursing, whether you can do it in the facility or you can do it in your house, right? And if you look at long-term care, the average long-term care situation usually resolves itself in about 15 to 17 months. Which, if you look at all that together, Medicare gives you 100 days, including with the copayment, and then a short-term care product or home health care would give you another 360. Well, that's about 15 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I used to do? I used to do occupational.
That's right.
Therapy.
Yeah.
And I remember before I even got into this world, I would tell people, like families, like get long-term insurance, because it's so sad to see what happens to seniors. I mean, it really is. And you're right about the smelly skilled nursing facilities. I worked in a lot of those.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's awful. You do not want your parents there. You don't want to be there. It's awful.
Even like the super nice ones are still like, they're not that great. Like you
Still
just,
urine, a lot of urine.
right. It's really musty smelling. You got Fred in the corner that's still trying to hit on everybody. Like it's an interesting place, and it's sad. My mom spent way too much time in one, and she was in a very nice one here in Northwest or Northeast Austin area. But still, like, and you can tell, like, some of the nurses, like, they absolutely adore what they do, and they're into it. They're passionate. But some of them, like, it's become, because they do it every single day, right? And they see this stuff every single day. It numbs them a little bit, because they're used to seeing people bleeding profusely, or they're used to seeing people crying and screaming about pain, or they're used to being cursed at by old people because the morphine's not strong enough, or whatever it might be. So they get very numbed by it, and their activities begin to become more transactional because of it.
That's why I left.
They're just like, flip over, let me wipe your ass again, Fred. Come on. And it's there's the compassion gets lost.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So that was one of the things that I noticed, that I was like, you know.
Let me take a chance, or I just want to have opportunity here to throw some flowers Tim's way, because
we got a few more minutes.
I think that, Tim has an incredible heart. I think that's one of the things that made me want to partner with him the most, is that it's hard to find people out there that truly see this as a relationship business. I think a lot of people talk that talk, but don't back it up with their actions. But Tim does. And he's one of those guys that, and I'm saying this because of what he's like. He had to leave because his heart is, I think, too big, right? I think he wants to really help people as much as possible. He drops everything and jumps on calls with agents all the time for some of the simplest things. And it's just because he wants to help. He wants to make sure that our members are happy, that, that they feel that they're being taken care of. And obviously we all strive to do that at DFY, but it's just awesome when the two guys who are running the show are both aligned in that, believing that it's the members first, right? We're not worried about the money. We're worried about taking care of our clients. The money follows, right? Because then other agents recommend us without us having to do anything, because they got taken care of by us. That's always how I've operated with DFY. And when Tim joined, like, that's how he continues to operate with DFY. And I just wanted to give you your flowers, my friend, because that's something that I love about you. You have such a big heart, and you care for people. And I think that the members who've gotten a chance to experience working with you have absolutely told me the same and felt that.
Thanks, man. I feel the same way about you. I mean, this is going to be a big, like a big hug session, but,
Tony's like, you're next, Tony. You're next. Don't worry. We're going to hug you next.
He needs birthday flowers. So
he does. Okay. Let me throw.
How about some birthday whiskey?
There we go.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, and again, Tony and I have had a long relationship now, a close friendship. We're business partners in Invictus. We've gotten to work really closely together. Another person who has an amazing heart, who cares, who wants to make sure that the people he interacts with feel that same love, that care, the attention. I think that's also what makes you a good marketer. That's what made me a good marketer, is that people can tell that we want them to succeed. They could tell it in our interactions and how we talk to them, how we work with them. And that's something that draws people to you. The fact that you do this show, you don't have to do this show, right? But you want to bring out information to help people, to help agents, to help better their agencies. And this is just a great platform to do it. Dude, you've been an amazing friend to me, and an amazing business partner. You got some party planning skills that are second to none. Like, man, Tony knows how to throw a show, dude. It's been a blessing to be able to do Invictus with you as well, and just work alongside you and change people's lives together. It's been awesome.
Yeah, feelings mutual, brother. And you and I've sat in rooms together and shared tears over those topics. So I appreciate you greatly, Tim. Don't really even know you, dude. All right, moving on. Just kidding, man. It's been a pleasure getting to know you, and I appreciate the support that you brought in to DFY and helping me and my crew that's on it. So thank you, guys. I love what y'all are building, and that's a big testament to why I work with you guys on DFYs, because one, is going back to the beginning of the show. You're guys that know the business, and that are building the system for the solutions that agents need. Are there other ones doing it? Certainly. Are there other ones doing it that are as nice as y'all? No. Are there other ones that are doing it that are as tuned in to the people that are plugged into their system and willing to help? Definitely not. And I'll leave it at that, because I certainly say a lot more on that topic. I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you all for creating the Webby chat piece. That one is definitely one that I want to use more and more. I've used it some, limited. It's worked great for us, but I'm looking forward to the advancements on it, and then definitely looking forward to seeing some of the bundle product solutions that you're going to bring to DFY.
Yeah,
So
we got a lot more coming, guys. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. And we'll be back on Tuesday doing more shows with Tony as we bring out more stuff. I think you guys will be happy with 2026.
Absolutely. When again do you say you do your demos? Was it Wednesday, Thursday? I forget.
Wednesdays and Fridays. Yeah. So
Wednesdays and Fridays.
Yeah, you go to DFY CRM, you click the sign up for a demo, and then you'll see the 2-time options and see which one fits best for you.
Sounds good. There you go, man. Well, thank you all again. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next week. We got Dan Gomez coming on the show next week to help us really kick off 2026 with a bang and help you put together your goals, your direction, and your millionaire mindset. We'll see you for that one next week. What am I going to say? Take it easy. I was going to say happy birthday, but it's my birthday. It's not yours. It's mine.
Enjoy your day, Tony. Enjoy your day.
Tony.